Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, February 9th, 11:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2019. Here's the scene. GFS models showing multiple layers of snow upon layers of snow in southern Washington, the mountains of all of Oregon, northern Cali. The Sierra Crest is the best. Central Oregon getting pummeled. And that's just the beginning. Al Gore's worst nightmare is coming true. Are you ready? Prepared, not scared. That's all we have to say. Cosmic rays have reached a new maximum. Maximum! Cloud nucleation causing maximum albedo. Causing maximum flooding. Maximum volcanic activity. Maximum cosmic rays. Keep calm. An ultra boom. It's boom time, kids. Extreme cold in Kilo Land caused an interesting phenomenon in Rapid City. And this is not up in the Arctic, folks.
Notice the sun rose earlier than it was supposed to today. It's a phenomenon usually known to the polar regions. Meteorologist Grant Smith explains.
The sun appeared earlier than expected this morning. This picture of the Rapid City skyline was taken just before 7 o'clock this morning, just 5 minutes before the actual sunrise. It's because of a phenomenon involving extreme temperatures in the atmosphere. It's called the Novaya Zemlya effect. It's a mirage that's normally seen around the polar regions, where the atmosphere's temperature profile can cause the sun's rays to refract or bend around the curvature of the Earth, making it appear as if the sun is rising earlier than it's supposed to. Now, you've probably seen this effect before. Take a glass of water, for example. You put a straw in it, or in this case, a pen. You put it in there, and it looks as if the pen is broken. Now, we know the pen isn't actually broken, but the way the light bends through the water makes it appear that it's broken. And it's that effect that caused the sun to rise a little bit earlier this morning. For KLN Weather, I'm meteorologist Grant Smith.
Heads up, broken pen effect. The sun appeared earlier than expected Friday morning. Someone took a picture of the Rapid City skyline at 6:58 a.m., 5 minutes before sunrise. And to their surprise, there was an extra sun. Phenomenon involving extreme temperatures in the atmosphere, typically only located up in the Arctic regions, is shown down in Sioux City, South Dakota. Heads up. It's called the Novaya Zemlya effect, and it's a mirage that's normally seen in the polar regions. To add insult to injury. Shut up, Al! The grand solar minimum and its effects, especially solar cycle minimum 24, rapidly increasing across the globe. We apologize for the white screen. Stick with us. Cosmic rays have reached a new maximum. Slowing down. There it is. The Novaya Zemlya effect is a polar mirage caused by high refraction of sunlight between atmospheric thermal layers. The Novaya Zemlya effect will give the impression that the sun is rising earlier than it actually should. And that's tonight's first boom. Sun rising earlier than it should. And it could. And we don't have a jiffy set up, but we're going to set it up now. What is that? What's going on there? Holy macaroni. That's an avalanche net. You bet. Have you heard? All links below. Snowstorm wallops Pacific Northwest. People rescued in the Sierra Nevada. Forecasters predict this may be a storm unlike one we've seen in years, said Washington Governor Jay Inslee, as he declared state of emergency, which we reported on yesterday. People are skiing in the streets today. Hey, hey. Seattle, a winter storm pounded Washington state, forcing the cancellation of flights in Seattle as officials work to get people off the streets and into shelters during the nation's latest bout with winter weather. Governor Jay Inslee declared a state of emergency for the state of Washington, saying everyone in the state should be totally, and there's no more bread on the shelves. More than 50,000 customers were out power Saturday, which was their Saturday, and still minor outage event just turned red to yellow. Hello, fellow. We're talking to you up there. Michigan and this other thing off of Wisconsin. whatever that's called. Heads up. As of 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday, more than 180 flights had been canceled in Seattle Tacoma International Airport, according to flight tracking, Flight Aware, whatever it's called. In California, more than 120 visitors and staff members were rescued after being snowbound in Sierra Resort for 5 days. Those burgers were getting old. So were the fries. Up to 7 feet of snow had trapped the guests and staff beginning Sunday at Montecito Sequoia Lodge in Kings Canyon National Park. U.S. Forest Service spokesman Alicia Embry said, there is going to be hundreds of millions of dollars worth of lawsuits coming out of this global warming nightmare, Diamond said. Check out poweroutage.us for more info. Winter storm dumps record snow in Seattle. Right on their paddle, Pacific Northwest, with more to come. Winter storm dumps record snow on Seattle, Pacific Northwest, with more to come. Originally appeared on abcnews.go.com. A potent storm brought heavy snow to parts of the Pacific Northwest Friday, including the lowland areas of Seattle Metro. Say it ain't so, but it's true. This was the second round of snow in the next 4 or 5 rounds of snow, which will be rounding down and crushing the area this week. Radar on Saturday morning is showing numerous bands of heavy snow in Seattle metro area with snowfall rates greater than 1 inch per hour occurring, and some snow is also falling towards Portland and Schmortland. And if your back is bent like that, holy sit up straight. Seattle has already reached 6.4 inches of snow at the Seattle Tacoma National Airport, which is like 6 times more than the average snow of all of February. This was a new daily record and set the second most snowfall in a single day in the past 20 years. We're not! We have no fears. It was almost the most snow Seattle has ever received in a single day since global warming peaked and Al Gore was tweaked. The storm will slide south during Saturday and bring some snow to Oregon and northern Cali, but it will then slide inland later Saturday and bring snow in southern Here's your Monday forecast. Snow, Medford. From Portland to Medford, your flux down to Redding. Reno, ho, ho, ho. Santa's coming. Heavy snow, Salt Lake, Denver, Western Central Plains, Grand City, and Rapid. Wherever that is, it's heavy, and it's snow. Seattle could pick up a couple more inches Saturday morning before the storming and Saturday forecast is heaviest if you smoke down on the Indica late at night. Meanwhile, the heavy snow will move south and east, the beast from the queast. In the higher beast is the least elevation of, anyway, locally 3 to 6. And if you're in purple, you're buried 5 feet through tomorrow in purple. Cold moves to eastern U.S. after a week where Al Gore in the Northeast got several tastes of spring. It's springing back to hell, baby. Arctic blast, Saturday AM wind chills, 8 in New York, 6 in Boston, -6 in Burlington, -50 in Caribou. Hoo-hoo! -1 in Detroit, -4 in Chi-Town, -32 in Minneapolis and Fargo. You can chip it. Bodies full. 0 in Kansas City. Nothing to measure there. 2 in St. Louis. Barely 9 in Nashville. Are you Tennesseeing it? 34 in Atlanta. Bring out the de-icer if it drops 2 more degrees. Man, that was a good article. Another storm will develop right behind that one and bring a round of snow from the Midwest and the Northeast Monday through Tuesday. And that's your lose day, Cleveland, Detroit, Chi-Town. Boom! Headed to Philly. It's going to be crazy. Not as crazy as I am, but it's going to be there. Who wants more? Rounds 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Snow prompts the winter storm watch for Seattle area. Heads up. The only thing red in Seattle was the bloodshot eyes of the pot smokers and these things on the coast. Ready or not, we're going to up the ante by not just dealing with one snowstorm. That's old hat now. We're going to try waddling through 2 storms and 3 storms and 4 storms. 2 minutes before the winter storm warning expired from Friday night's storm, the winter storm watch has been issued across the region, including the Puget Sound. For the 1-2 punch after the 3-4 Al Gore is expected widespread snowfall the first later Sunday. The second Monday into your fun day, into Tuesday, which is your lose day, it's likely to be time we get midweek streak off of our plates. And those are your fates. Lowland Winter Storm Watch, Olympics, watching it, and you're all watched. We've watched right through the low temperature forecast of absolutely frigid nightmare from Omak down to Yakima. You're all schmackama, even at the coast. It will not be the toast of the most. It's going to be the coldest night across the area. To make it scary, expect low temperatures between 15 and 20 for most who don't even know what below freezing is. Wind chills likely in the single digits. Yes, and your little digits can suck the schmidgets. Piling up in your region. Cosmic rays are to blame. It's also partially due to a large storm, geographically speaking, and currently tracking projections and schmections. And then that's a nice blouse. Heavy snow. Look at that, 10.5 to 21.6. Are you schmixed? This storm will take a bit of a different track, dropping offshore, then first curling inland and Schmidland, and then right now it's cold. 25 in Bellingham, 30 in Centralia, 34 in Long Beach. Yes, your nipples are hard for 30 in Forks. We're no dorks. Snowfall totals are running about on par with the latest storm. 4 to 8 inches will be cinches. Holy sh... Look at this. There's the 18-14 day out temperature probability of schmaba hellishness nature. Unless you're in Florida, you're... Everywhere west of there, it gets worse and worse. I don't know how it's possible, but NOAA found an even darker shade than blue to put over the Northwest. It's called schmerple. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. Put the lotion in the basket. I love schmerple. It's my favorite color. Thank you, Scott Sistek. We're picking up what we're putting down. Downtown. Here are the models. Deep. It's deep. Let's just stop it, because we need to stop this. Here's your Thanksgiving, Four Corners. Thank you. Boom. Are you serious? It's going to be cold and nasty in Albuquerque for observing the frontier, in case you were wondering. Holy shit, and then there's a blizzard coming. Get out of Dodge. Oh my God, this could be building. It could be building a schmelding. Look at this, loss of life. Here's my southern storm. It has been born. Heads up, it's coming your way. Like a giant flying... Yes, it's a Canadian goose headed right towards South Carolina. Holy shit. When did that show up? Maybe I need to take another hit. Let's move it back. Because moving it back, we can retract the schmack of the crack and get it back. Look at that. Boom! Central Idaho. Oh my God, Idaho. Say it ain't soda. 6 feet of snowda predicted. We have a central storm coming through in the next few days in the Northeast, New York State, all of the DAX. This is a record year. It's going to be insane. Look at the models. I don't even know where to start. If you know where you live, you're buried. Especially through the Sierras, all the way up through Oregon, the whole state, all of Idaho, all of Iowa. Pray for Iowa. Pray for the Quad Cities. Pray for Cedar Rapids. Pray now. Man. Look at these totals. And this is just getting into March. And the late February storm is dipping down into all the southern states, which is going to make some headaches. But not before the western storm pummels Oregon and Washington, dumping heavy snows, 5 feet 6, adding up 7 feet. We're at 8 feet now. Heads up, I'll show you how. 9 feet, still going. And they're not even snow blowing. These are the natural models. This is how you replace all of the drought in just days. Keep you in a haze, especially if you're smoking the granddaddy perps. You know what I'm saying? I love that strain. It's delicious. Significant winter storm for the Northwest. Intensifying storm near Hawaii. Hazardous weather returns to central eastern U.S. This storm system moving down the northwest coast is delivering heavy snows right up your arse. Gusty winds below normal temps. Hard nips. Winter storm watch remains in effect for Seattle. Hawaii, a powerful storm will produce large destructive surf and locally damaging winds, as we predicted 24 hours ago this weekend. Here's your lose day. Check out Washington State, 2 counties and blizzard warnings, watches, and winter weather effects everywhere across the country. Freezing temperatures in the baby blue, which means you're going to freeze to death if you stay outside and you drink too much. These blue areas are winter storm watches, right next to flooding warnings, and it's got to suck there. Could you imagine right on the cusp of freezing and flooding and winter storm? It's a nightmare. I don't want to share. That's why I live right here. Nothing's happening right now. Just pimping. Straight pimping. Just stuff the wood stove full of wood, packing the bowls full of green. Most of Alberta won't break free from Mother Nature's icy grip this weekend. Neither will you. I hope you're prepared. News, deep freeze in Alberta continues to drag through your arse. The first week of February has been freezing cold throughout most of Alberta, and much of the province isn't expected to see any reprieve over the weekend. A map of Environment Canada website revealed that most of Alberta is still dotted with extreme cold warnings below 25°C on Friday afternoon. The heaviest concentration of warnings still in the central and northern parts of the province. Break out your double blankets and your triple fat goose. The goose is loose. We're about to get to some seismic updates and some volcanic advisories. Cosmic rays have reached a new maximum. You're here, and you're not at the mall. Spencer's is around the corner and on the 3rd floor, by the way. Alberta feeling cold is minus 50 with wind chill. Holy sh! Temperatures with the wind chill will make it feel like it's between minus 40 and minus 50
bitter,
in
cold
some parts
temperatures.
of the
This has
province.
been the story across
Shut
all
up!
three prairie provinces for quite some time now. And
Where
how
is this woman? Okay. We're doing a
neat
show.
is this?
Can you give us a minute? It's your fancy jacket. Some parts of Alberta should expect extreme cold conditions to occur in the overnight and morning hours through the weekend and even into Wednesday. Extreme cold puts everyone at risk, especially if you're trying to freeze an egg on a plate. What the fuck is going on here?
The Weather Network's Kyle Britton headed outdoors on Saturday during the afternoon hours local time, and he decided to experiment a bit with some chopsticks and some noodles and an egg. You can notice the egg whites and the yolk there dripping down, and the egg perfectly frozen in mid-air. That is how cold it is outside. Extreme cold warnings. This is just a still of what things looked like on Saturday. Is this. The Weather Network's Kyle Britton headed outdoors on Saturday during the afternoon hours local time, and he decided to experiment a bit with some chopsticks and some noodles and an egg. You can notice the egg whites and the yolk there dripping down, and the egg perfectly frozen in mid-air. That is how cold it is outside. Extreme cold warnings. This is just a still of what things looked like on Saturday. Many of these expected to stay in place for the rest of the weekend. Temperature records were broken as well on Friday morning across Saskatchewan. Temperatures well below minus 40, and that's actually what we saw as well for parts of Alberta too. We're going to see the cold stick around, so be sure to stay safe if you have any outdoor activities planned. It doesn't take long in these conditions for you to feel the effects.
I apologize for the technical difficulties we were experiencing. However, we certainly got schooled on how cold it is up there in Alberta and how you can crack an egg and stick it on a pan and it freezes immediately. There's another effect going on up there that we should discuss because it's totally trippy. Another byproduct of this extreme cold is ghost apples. And there you're looking at one. A so-called ghost apple hangs from a tree orchard in western Michigan. The great cold snap of 2019 has given us a ton of terms we didn't need to know. Ho ho. Frost quakes, snow squalls, steam fog, and now ghost apples. Holy shit. Andrew Seetsma was pruning apple trees in an icy orchard in western Michigan when he came across some ghost apples. It was just cold enough that the ice covering the apple hadn't melted yet, but it was warm enough the apple inside turned to complete mush and then got a flush. Heads up, ghost apples. Western Michigan has gone through a roller coaster of weather this month, and it's predicted as we descend into the grand solar minimum. We'll get to the science if you stick with us. Why extreme cold is good for Alberta forests, kills pine mites, pine beetles, and other shit that kill trees. And we're crossing our fingers that these beetles are dead thanks to the grand solar minimum. Saskatoon water main breaks add to extreme cold and misery. In the city of Saskatoon that broke a cold record yesterday dating back to the 1880s, crews grapple with 4 water main breaks during frigid temperatures Friday morning. That was their lose day. 4 water main breaks exploding in that record cold. I was told. Seismic update, no quakes of note. We had a small perturbation here where we went into connection with the sun, and we had some 3 small 5.2s kick off, but we are back. No seismic warning currently, according to space weather. Erupting Indonesia volcano spews ash and lava. Mount Karangitang in Sulawesi. Some of you call it Merapi. More than 100 nearby residents are totally fluxed due to cosmic rays. Have you heard? If it's cloudy outside, if you see chemtrails, send them over to this graph here, please. Hello. We got some hot lava coming your way. Hot lava from Indonesia's Mount Karangitang cuts roads, endangers 500 villagers. Holy sh! We're just going to have to cut that one. Sorry. Do we still have audio? Yeah. Thanks. Thumbs up. Worldwide volcano news update. We're still talking about hot lava from Indonesia's Mount Karangitang cutting roads and endangering 500 villagers. Hot lava and volcanic material that spewed from Karangitang in North Sulawesi province cut roads, buried bridges, while bad weather hampered evacuation operations. Saturday, February 9th. Now, local authorities are trying to evacuate 508 villagers from a slope of the mountain that they should have never been on ever. Anyway, heads up. Boomtown. Boom time. Cosmic rays much? Holy sh. Popo, Shivalush, Ducona, Reventador, Planchon, Petaroa, Sabancaya. Done. Whew. See how easy that was? If you just got here, get there. Right there in the avalanche net. This picture was taken yesterday. Tons of cannabis was involved. Heads up as it piles up via Jiffy. Man, look at that. Let's have lunch. Metal from dinosaur killing asteroid kills cancer cells when blasted with light. IFL Science. Man, let's just look at this picture for a minute. Can we do that? Right click on the picture, hit open link in new tab, and you can take a tab and just stay up all night, kids. Here it comes. Oh my goodness. As it piles up. Sacred Geometry International, friends of the channel, Randall Carlson, iridium, a metal associated with the asteroid that ended the Cretaceous era, can act like a stealth bomb. Heads up. When combined with alpine Sadler iridium complex, has 2 advantages over blah, blah, blah. Holy grail. Holy shit. Come listen to the audio. Do it now. It's amazing. We don't have time for all that because I couldn't even read it. But this picture is great. Did you hear about the cosmic ray increase recently? It's the highest it's ever been, ever, for maybe 8,000 years. That could be news. News you can use. Boom time. While you're jumping into the avalanche fence. And we're all giving you compliments on your depth, your thickness, your width. As the objects enter from the sun, it won't be that fun. Solar activity heads for the lowest in 4 centuries. The sun's activity is in free fall, which is why we started Solar Shutdown on Facebook. Go get it. Links below. This will not help you, though. What we're about to share will. Solar minimum is happening, and we're going to reopen that closed tab because it was pretty important. New CMIP6 data suggests an extended period of solar decline extending through 2100. And things may start coming in. Solar cycle wave frequency linked to jet stream changes. Many of you are confused, to say the least. But there is science involved in zonal flow and meridional flow. So the red line is zonal flow, which is the typical jet stream model you've been used to most of the last 30 years. During solar maximum, the jet stream has lots of energy because of the sun's output and stays tight and races across the northern hemisphere in a tight location. Jet stream. Zonal flow. As the sun goes into solar minimum, 1 or 2 years, every decade or so, you get a meridional flow where you get record highs and lows. And this has been recorded every solar minimum time immemorial. And we're headed into one of the biggest solar minimums. So, not only do cosmic rays increase cloud coverage in the atmosphere where weather is made, causing atmospheric compression, record flooding on a yearly scale that is typically 100, 500 year scale. It's due to cloud nucleation in the atmosphere where weather is created. Now, more big things to come, but solar cycle wave frequency linked to jet stream changes. You can read it here. Amazing information on the 3D view of the atmosphere. The relationship between weather and jet stream and the Rossby wave. And everything you need to know is pretty much summed up in this very short document. It's barely 2 pages. Do it now, or you're completely a waste of time. Now, we recently saw this very meridional flow here. See this orange line? We just saw this last week when the Northeast froze to -20. And a paper was released that Baffin Island was warming and melting. So we're experiencing some of the most extreme zonal flows ever recorded. No, meridional flows ever recorded in history, because not only is it the shutdown of the sun, but it's the breakdown of the magnetosphere. And we have poles migrating down here into Siberia, and down here, waning magnetic points of interest in Canada, which is making everything go haywire, because the poles are eventually going to meet west of Indonesia here, east of Africa. And it's going to be boom time. Now, a history of solar activity over the millennia has been out since 2013. Presented here is a review of present knowledge of the long-term behavior of solar activity on a multi-millennial timescale, as reconstructed using the indirect proxy method. Now, indirect proxy method. That means if you have a very detailed ice core data, if you have tree ring data, you can use that as a proxy where one thing explains the other for temperature and other things. So these indirect proxy methods are in great detail in this paper. This is one of the most comprehensive pieces of information that you can get your hands on, and we're going to link it below. And it's not loading up. Use it as you will. Please do not sell it. And what you're going to get is 94 pages of here, contents. the concept of solar activity, indices of solar activity, direct solar indices, pre-telescopic epoch, proxy method. Learn it. Variability of solar activity over thousands of years, solar energetic particles in the past. Does it sound good? Oh my God. This isn't shiterature. This is real literature. This is what you want to download and bury under your bed for future generations so that they can get the information they need. Scientists are investigating building a space station inside a giant asteroid. I saw that movie. If they can bore into an asteroid in space, they certainly have been building tunnels since 1950, since the CIA was created and they began lying to you and taxing your ass for trillions of dollars to save their ass while we all fry. As the snow builds and idiots jump into fences, are you prepared? Are you ready? Prepared, not scared, right? Modern cosmic ray maximum. All the information is gathering. It's a slathering of knowledge. We want you to survive with us. I hope you join us. Check out the Oppenheimer Ranch Preparedness store. Buy long-term food storage from our Patriot Supply link. Get off of pharmaceuticals using our Hemp Lucid link. Come to LeeCon to get more information and to connect with like-minded people that are not sheeple, that will show you the light. The shit's about to hit the fan. The clock is ticking. Are you ready?